Hi ladies and gents, and welcome to the Indulgent Kitchen. I'm Courtney, and today's recipe we are going to be making buffalo wings. But instead of putting them in the oven or frying them up, we're actually going to be using this beautiful machine right here. This is the air fryer. And I absolutely love this machine because it makes food have a nice, crispy, delicious crust. It makes food all yummy without all of that added oil and fat and calories and such. I mean, there's still calories in food, but it reduces it significantly. This air fryer actually uses the Maillard effect, not Mallard, Maillard effect, to actually get food nice and crispy and delicious. Now, the traditional way of using the Maillard effect is actually deep frying. We put food into a big pot of oil at a high temperature, and that actually changes the amino acids and the sugar structures and makes food all nice and crispy on the inside. Well, the air fryer actually does that a little differently. It does an alternative to the Maillard effect in that it uses high temperature in high heat, and it circulates the air really fast, and with a light coating of oil on your food instead of submerging it, it uses that high heat and high circulation of air to crisp up the skin of the food, also changing the amino acids and sugar structures, but in a different way, but still creating a similar effect. But you guys did not come for a science lesson, came for some food. So let's get started with the recipe. Okay, so first we're going to actually soak our chicken in buttermilk for 30 minutes to 2 hours. You can even go 3 hours, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do 2 hours. And the reason why you soak in buttermilk is because you're trying to make the skin nice and moist to really coat onto all the stuff you're gonna put on it, the flour or whatnot. And it also helps to get into the actual meat and actually makes it a lot more juicier and whatnot. Now you don't have to do it that way. There's plenty of chicken recipes out there where they don't soak it, and that's totally fine, especially for the fried ones because you're submerging it in oil anyway. But since we're using the air fryer and you have that high circulation of heat, I want to make sure that the chicken is juicy as possible. Again, it's optional, you don't have to do it, but I'm going to show you how. Also, if you do not have buttermilk, which I just looked at my fridge and I don't have buttermilk, here's a really old traditional way of how to make your own buttermilk. So you take your milk right here. You can use skim, whole, 2%. It all works the same. You can even use almond milk. I've done that as well. It works the same as well. And for this recipe, I have about 3.5 to 4 pounds of chicken, which is what you're going to need for your chicken wings. And so I'm going to put 2 cups of milk. Now, for every cup of milk, you're going to use either a tablespoon of lemon juice or a tablespoon of white distilled vinegar. And that's actually going to help the milk curdle and change the milk's properties to mimic buttermilk. So you're actually kind of making fake buttermilk. So it's either or, doesn't matter which one. You just need an acid in some way to curdle the milk. So I'm just going to go ahead and use vinegar. So since I have 2 cups, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons. One. Oh, of course I get some on me. Don't splash like me. There, that's the proper way to do it. Okay. Oh, okay. Then you're gonna take a whisk, and it's already starting to curdle in there. Right when it hits there, you can see the milk kind of separating already. See how it's starting to curdle right there? You see this residue on the bowl. So you want to whisk it up. It'll get slightly frothy because of the fact that you're whisking, and also the reaction of the vinegar and the milk. And as I whisk, it's getting thicker and thicker, like buttermilk. So like 20-30 seconds. And then you'll actually let that sit for about 5 minutes. Okay, so our chicken has marinated for about 2 hours, and I went ahead and took it out of the buttermilk that we made. So here it right here, letting the excess drip, and I just kind of put it on a pan to let the excess drip off. We're actually going to save the remainder of this buttermilk that we made for double dipping our chicken wings into. So we're going to set that aside. And right now we are going to start by making our flour mixture that we're going to use. So this is already 2 cups of all-purpose flour. And we're going to start off by putting about a tablespoon or 4 teaspoons of baking powder into this flour. If you have self-rising flour, you don't need to do this step, because it already self-rising flour already has baking powder and salt in it, so you don't have to do that. But we're going to do 4 teaspoons, so that is basically 1 tablespoon and 1 teaspoon. So there's 1 tablespoon. And there is 1 teaspoon. So we have our flour and our baking powder in there. Baking powder, not baking soda. If it's baking powder, it's going to be really, really salty and you're going to be very sad. Okay, I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of salt. We actually ran out of salt the last recipe, so we're going to use seasoning salt because that's what we have. Either or works fine. There's 1. There's 2. 4 teaspoons of chili powder or ancho chili powder, which is the smoky chili powder. 2. 3. 4. Okay. 3 tablespoons of paprika or smoked paprika. I'm sorry, 3 teaspoons of paprika or smoked paprika. I don't remember what I just said. But 3 teaspoons is 1 tablespoon. That's about a tablespoon. Okay, 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of black pepper, however spicy you want it. So that's 1 teaspoon. And go ahead and put about a half. I'm just going to eyeball it. And 3 teaspoons or 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. Okay, your mix is done. Now you're going to shake it all up to mix up. It's the pepper. Oh, I'm so sorry. Ignore that. No, wait. Never mind. Sorry. So now we have our seasoned flour. And so now we're going to start dipping our wings. So let's move all this out of the way. Let me see my mess. Okay. We're going to take back that bowl of buttermilk that we made. We also have 2 pans. Sorry, my cameraman is going to be moving back and forth because in this section of the kitchen I don't have a lot of counter space. Okay. Right. So you're going to take the wing and or a couple of wings. I'm just going to start with 3. You can use the Ziploc. I'm not going to. 'Cause I'm lazy. You're going to shake it up in the flour to get it nice and coated. Shake off the excess flour. Just going to lay that there for a minute since I'm doing multiple wings at once. Okay, then you're going to take the wing and gently put it into Got buttermilk mix. Let the excess drip off and throw it back in. You want to do this kind of fast so that your flour mixture doesn't get too clumpy before you're done. Dip, dip. Doesn't take a lot of dipping, just enough to get it moist again. Fill it up, shake again. And don't worry about reusing the buttermilk you used to marinate in, it's not going to hurt anything. That's your finished wing. Yeah. And do it again. 1, 2, 3. Shake it up in the flour. Take off the excess, set aside. And take the wing, dip it lightly back into the buttermilk, let the excess drip off, put it back into the flour. Repeat again. Excess off. Repeat again. Excess off. Twist. Shake vigorously, or as vigorously as you can. Shake off the excess, lay it down. The excess, lay it down. Excess. Okay. I'm going to do the rest of the wings and I will be right back.
All right, and 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so we've coated all of our wings for the air fryer, but now it's time to turn on and preheat the air fryer. And it's a really good idea to preheat your air fryer before you turn it on, just like how you would preheat an oven. You don't want to start it cold. It sometimes makes your food take longer. Not every recipe, but some, like chicken, things that take a longer time to cook, will take longer if you don't preheat your air fryer. So you want to go ahead and do that. I'm just going to plug it in, and ours just turns on like that. This is our Power Air Fryer XL, which we got on Amazon. There are a bunch of different air fryers out there. They all work a little differently, but the concept is still the same and the settings are usually still the same. So you want to hit this power button right here that's already lit up. It'll already show a temperature. We're going to turn that to 360, and we're going to go to time here, and we're going to set it to about 4 minutes. You don't need a long time. But then you hit this button again, and it starts it. So it's going to preheat, and then we'll be back.
2, however you do 2, 1.
Okay, so the air fryer has preheated. It already went off. And so we're going to actually oil the inside of it. You don't have to oil the inside of it, but a lot of people do. You have two options. You can use like a spray-on spray, like olive oil or canola oil. Or you can get this. A lot of YouTubers and prominent air fryers are using this. This is actually filled with olive oil, and it'll actually spritz oil very, very lightly. And I use this a lot for the air fryer and then spraying food. And also you can use it for mixing with salad and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. So you just kind of spray all over. You don't have to coat the whole thing. It's fine in the air. If you don't want to do that, just use this little spray. And you can mix the two. It's not going to hurt anything. What I will also do is you need to also coat lightly your chicken as well. And you can use either or as well. So if you use this, it's just like a nice little light spray. And even though it's a squirt and it looks like a lot of oil, it's really not in the grand scheme of things. Don't worry about it making the batter a little soggy. It'll crisp up in the air fryer. If you don't like that, if you want to use this, it's totally fine. Just shake it up and spray in a sweeping motion. That works a little better. See? Alright. Then take your tongs. I'm going to put the chicken in. You want to make sure they don't touch too much. We'll have to do this in batches because we don't want them to touch. Scoot over. Here we go. And some people layer them on top. I prefer not to, but that's just me. I'll layer it a little. So try to squeeze one more in. There we go. That's about 5 wings right there. Let's see how we do with that. And you press it in. It'll turn on again. This time we're going to go up to 370 or 375. So you want to hit the on button. That's 15 minutes. So we want to go to here. It's already at 370, so we'll just keep it that way. And then at the time, we're actually going to go down to 10 minutes. We'll hit start. Okay. And you'll want to do this at least twice. So we're going to let it run for 10 minutes. Check the chicken, flip it over, and then run for another 10 minutes and see where we are from there. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes and it's just turned off. So we're going to open it up. And it's starting to get crispy on the outside. Actually, as I push it, I can't really move the skin very much, so it is getting crispy. And at this point, at this 10-minute mark, you want to flip it over. Flip it over here. Some of them are starting to stick because of the little touching. But at this point, when you're flipping now, since the skin has started to solidify and get crispy, it won't stick as much. They don't have to all lay down flat, it's fine. Just kind of make sure to at least flip them. And on this side, you do want to spray with some cooking spray, so either oil or cooking spray, doesn't really matter. Kind of get all the dry spots. All right. And we're going to pop this in again. Set at 370. We're going to go for another 10 minutes, and then we'll be back. Okay, so it just turned off, so let's go ahead and check our chicken. Oh my god, that looks awesome! Look at that's nice and crispy. Looks like a fried chicken. I'm going to go ahead and take that out. Ooh. We're going to do the next batch. You don't need to clean that off or anything. I've already sprayed these. Spray a little more. You're just going to repeat the process. So you're just going to put those in. Try not to let them touch. And this might take a couple of times doing it, and that's okay. You know, in our household we always have a lot to do, so it's fine to just set it and then walk away. Back in. Set it at 370. Set it for 10 minutes. And let it go. And so we're going to keep doing that, setting it for 10 minutes, checking it, flipping it, and then setting it for another 10 minutes at 370. And we're going to do that with all the chicken, and then we'll be back to make the buffalo sauce. Back. Our last batch of chicken is actually finishing in the air fryer to last 10 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and make the buffalo sauce while we're waiting. And so for this buffalo sauce, we're going to need a cup of butter. So that's 2 sticks of butter. Please do not use margarine. Actually use the real stuff. Butter, fresh from the cow. Good old butter. Put that into a pot. Okay. Hold on right there, guys. I forgot to get a measuring cup. Of course I did, Courtney. Okay. Back measuring cup. So we need a cup and a half of hot sauce. You can use, generic. You can use Frank's Red Hot. It doesn't really matter. Whatever your preference is. I'll choose a bit above. That's 1, 2. This is a half cup measure. 3. Okay. And then you're going to do a teaspoon of each chili powder or ancho chili powder. Again, ancho chili powder has a more smokier flavor, so I really love it. That's why I use it. You're going to do a teaspoon of garlic powder, and you're going to do a teaspoon of paprika or smoked paprika. So a teaspoon of the chili powder. Teaspoon of the garlic. Of the smoked paprika. Okay, you're going to grab your spoon and bring it over to the stove. You're going to set it on medium. There. You're going to let it slowly heat up. And we'll be back as it starts heating up. I'm going to go check on the chicken. Okay, so we've let this simmer for about 5 minutes, and as you can see, most of the butter is melted. We still have a couple pieces. But I'm just mixing in all the seasonings. It smells really good and spicy right now. And you want to keep mixing and mixing. Oh my God, it looks good. Until all the butter is melted. Especially since our chicken is almost done. And I usually taste everything. Oh, there's our chicken, our last batch of chicken, which I will show you guys all that in a minute. Let me just taste this real quick. Make sure it doesn't need anything. It's spicy. Okay. Sorry, I got up my nose there. It's good. It's good. A little spicy is good. You know, something so pungent just goes in your nose and you cough. Well, you guys know what I'm talking about, but it's delicious. If you want it spicier than that, like if you didn't cough or anything, and you're like, I need my stuff to make me cough, then you can add Tabasco sauce or whatever. It's actually starting to boil now, but since it's fully incorporated, we're just going to turn it all the way off. We're going to take it off of the burner. We don't want any accidents. Let's go check our chicken. Alright, oh man. No, don't worry if there's a few spots like with flour and stuff, it's fine. This chicken is crispy. The juices are kind of just dripping out. Really awesome. And this is our end result of our chicken, and it looks awesome. Actually, you can eat it now. If you don't want to do hot sauce, or it's like late at night, you're like, F the buffalo sauce, I don't even want to deal with it. You can go ahead and eat it now. But it's really good. It's really crispy. Every time I press it, the juices kind of start coming out, so I know it's juicy. So excited. So we're going to take this over here to our buffalo sauce. Now, oh, I need tongs. Now you can do this one at a time, like dip and like in my other previous videos where we dip one at a time and then coat. I'm gonna do it the fast way. Take a big container. Move this out of the way so there's no accidents. And if your sauce starts to separate a little, that's okay. So I'm gonna start putting chicken in this big container. Again, even if there's some floury spots, that's fine. The chicken is still crispy and juicy, so don't worry about that. Hopefully all this will fit. If it doesn't, you can do this in batches for however much chicken you're making. Okay, you're gonna take this sauce and pour all on top. Don't worry if it separates a bit, that's totally fine. It'll reincorporate itself when we start shaking. Oh man. If you don't like your buffalo sauce that thin, you can actually, while it's cooking, add a couple teaspoons of flour. That'll thicken it up. I'm gonna put the top on. If your chicken's still hot, be careful because when you shake, the heat trapped inside will make the lid pop open sometimes. You want to hold it on as tight as you can. Just kind of shake it a little. And since the chicken and everything is still hot, you can actually just turn over and over all over again. Just be very careful. This is okay. That is some coated chicken. Oh, look at that. It's still steamy and hot. I'll go ahead and plate this for you guys. At least a few pieces. Ooh, I can smell the buffalo. All right. Okay guys, you guys are done. So here is the buffalo chicken. We made this in the air fryer and we coated it. And it's absolutely, oh, it smells so good. And I made this a couple times, so I know it's absolutely fabulous. But go ahead and make this and let me know what you guys think. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning into this channel. Catch us on Facebook and our website, which is listed below, and also Instagram. And check out our next videos, which are coming up really soon. So thanks so much. Bye.